It's been a minute, but we are here for regular scheduled content, and we're back with the Aston Martin Road to Glory. This one is going to be the Japanese Grand Prix, and before we jump into it, if you haven't seen the last episode, guys, go check it out, link in the top right. Spoiler warning ahead, and yeah, we've got a lot to get through. As you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, pretty much a full month until the next race. We're going to get 3 batches of resource points on top of the 2,400 we already have. So we're going to get busy here and hopefully do some upgrades. We've got one arriving on the 17th and we're going to add to that right now. So first off is confirmation. The intercooler arrived, which was one that we already had kind of on the way on the back burner. We're going to add to that by doing the roll dampers, which has the biggest discount of the bunch. And then after that, we moved to a marketing department event, which was scheduled to arrive a couple of days later. It was actually a good one because we got to choose in terms of whether or not to appear in a TV advertisement or a spot, and I chose to actually focus on the work in hand, which hurts our acclaim but gave us some extra R&D points. Now the roll dampers failed, which is the one we just purchased. However, the overwheel winglets did officially arrive. So far, 2 upgrades on the car for this weekend's race, and we'll try and add another. So I'm going to keep that failed upgrade for a later date to buy that at a discounted price. I'm going to take a chance here and actually try to rush the side pod turning vanes for this race if we're lucky. It's expensive for a minor, but it's got a discount, so we're going to take a chance and we'll see if it arrives. So here we are, race weekend at Suzuka, and unfortunately it failed, which is a real shame because if we had got that on the car, we could have had 3 upgrades on this weekend, and that would have been a pretty big improvement. Nonetheless, confirmation, Sergio Perez is retiring at the end of the current season. We have absolutely no rain forecast this weekend, and as for the rest of the teams, wow, the field spread is getting extremely close and very tight for these final races. You can see our upgrades have still kept us at the bottom. Other teams have improved, but the gap overall has shrunk. So things are really heating up and things are starting to really get competitive in this career mode. Either way, we're currently in practice and we're going to hopefully have a nice smooth session and stack up a few more points, and we'll try and repurchase those 2 failed upgrades at the start of the next episode, which I'm hoping I can afford them both. And yeah, besides that, you can see we finish with pretty decent pace / tyre wear, which is encouraging. So we'll see how that fares in the race. For now though, we're going to jump into qualifying. You can see we had a pretty decent points haul, so 1,700 points currently on the books, which should cover both failed upgrades in the next episode. And now we're just going to see how many more points we can actually claw up before the next race arrives, and maybe we can actually add on an extra upgrade on top of that moving forward. Either way, let's jump into qualifying and let's get to it. This is a track where I've had good success in the past. It's a very tricky one because the setup I use here is very high speed on the straight, and we struggle in the corners. So I've actually tried to make up for that, and I've increased my wings +2 on the front and rear, plus an extra click on the front wing. So the lap got off to a pretty poor start. I had a really bad exit out of the chicane, and also you can see we didn't trouble the apex at 1 or 2. Then through the Degners, Degner 2 specifically, I missed the apex and also bottomed out on the curb, which cost us a pretty big chunk of time. And yeah, we're now going to close out the lap, making our way through the Casio triangle, and we're going to see where we kind of slot in amongst the pack, taking a slightly tighter line to the line, and there's going to be a 128.8, purple sector 3. However, wow, we're a long way away, long way away. We know there's a bit of time to find with a mistake, but the time really is in the middle sector, which we're losing 7/10 to Lance Stroll alone. So yeah, with 30 seconds to go, we're the last car to start a lap. Fresh set of tyres, set up exactly the same as the first run. I was quite happy with it. I was a little bit slow to get the DRS open, so I didn't really make up for lost time after that poor exit on the last run. But nonetheless, this time we do actually keep it a bit tighter and get the apex at turn 2, and that results in us finding a little bit of time straight away. Albeit not a perfect line, still could have done a bit better. Through the S's now, more or less matched what I've done on the last run through here, not a hell of a lot different. And Dunlop, which is this corner right here, actually pretty decent exit. We keep it a bit tighter, which finds us a fair bit of time as the checkered flag drops. 2 tenths down on Schumacher right now in sector 1 as we keep it nice and tight through Degner. Probably a bit too tight. You want to be a little bit wider than the apex because the curb actually bottoms out. So you want to be a little bit wider than the apex but not too wide. We still found time though with that area where we made a mistake last time. And we also did a good job through the hairpin. So we're pretty much 4 tenths up as we keep a tighter line through this back straight, which gains us a little bit of time. Into Spoon though, my first big mistake of the lap, I just caught the grass on the entry and lost a lot of time through Spoon part 1. We had a great part 2 and got an excellent exit which gained us a bit of time, but we've lost a little bit overall, and at the second split we are still 7 tenths down on Stroll's improved lap, which is a massive red flag. Into the final chicane then, braking at 100, a brake bias adjustment onto 52, over the curbs we go, and now important to get a good exit here as we get the power down.
Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
And yeah, at this point, I'm just getting annoyed. We keep on messing up qualifying, and I'll be honest, guys, it's been 2 seasons, and this car is a problem. Even with all the upgrades, the back end since the very first race has been a problem, and it still is a problem. Whenever I try to drive this car on the limit, it just doesn't like it. This car, on the edge in qualifying, just bites. It's not fun to drive. At no point do I feel comfortable in a lap, regardless of setup. And I have a lot of esports setups, good setups in this game. And this car does not respond well to them. It just doesn't seem to work. And I don't really have a solution. I've tried everything over 2 seasons. And besides the fact that the AI always strong in qualifying and we're always quite poor, my race pace is usually their strong point. But in the race it's better because I can take it a little bit easier. And I can kind of drive at like 95%, which is the sweet spot. But whenever this car's on 100%, it's just not there. It doesn't work. I try really hard, and I either overdrive or the car just bites, and there's nothing I can do. We finish a long way away from anyone else. Leclerc for some reason set no time, so possibly an issue or a crash. I didn't catch it in the session, so I don't know what happened. But we're 9 tenths off Stroll. However, P18 to P1, a full second, so the field spread is very close. So if we have any sort of race pace, it could be a very close one. So guys, let's jump into it, and let's see if hopefully we can turn it around.
We come to you today live from the Mai Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen so many title deciders through the years, some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Sainz, Sergio Perez and Albon, Gasly, Vettel, Magnussen and Lando Norris, Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Nicholas Latifi and Bottas, Ocon, Stroll, Sir Lewis Hamilton, they've taken a grid penalty, and Martinez, Leclerc and Guan Yu Zhou. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
So usually I'm a bit more optimistic, but I'm not too sure this is going to be the race for us. I would love to hear a prediction from you guys down in the comments down below. I want to know what you think, but I reckon this could be a tough one. We're starting 18th, which is a long way away. Obviously, we didn't get a full qualifying lap in. We would have probably improved by about half a second, which would have left us about 3 to 4 tenths off the next car. Usually, that's kind of the deficit that I have to kind of turn it around in the race. That's kind of the pace gain that I have. The big thing here, though, is the parity. The fuel spread is so tight, so I don't know what to expect. It's going to be hard to make progress and we have some faster cars down here with us with penalties. So yeah, strategy for this one is a medium to hard tyre, one stop, very simple, fuel plus 1 lap, and fuel is I think I'm a little bit worried about, so I've gone a bit safer with plus 1. As for the setup, I've kept it exactly the same, the only change being the pressures, which I've gone for plus 3 and plus 5, which is a little bit high, but I'm going to take a chance and see if it works. So yeah guys, let's jump into it and let's see if we can turn it around. I'm not super confident, but I could be surprised. Right, let's get into it. Well, that's a poor reaction there. I was slow to the lights. Leclerc flies off the line. Zhou with a good start. I'm going to try and fight it. Easy though into turn 1. Got a lot of cars on softs, by the way, from what I could see. Stroll's on the softs as well. Zhou gets a bit loose. Ocon there on softs as well. Try to have a look around the outside of Charles, but no way through. Although realistically, I don't really want to battle, you know, the likes of Leclerc, Hamilton, Ocon, because they're just in faster machinery. So there's no real point. You can see we get really badly hurt there, losing so much through the Dunlop curve, up the hill. Might have a chance into the hairpin, although I don't really want to pass these guys because they're just going to get back past anyway. Draw up the inside. I'm going to convert that into basically an overtake on Charles, just for the sake of, you know, staying ahead of Zhou. We'll let Leclerc race back past here. Like I said, I don't really want to battle a Ferrari on softs. That's not our race to fight. We'll let Charles go. I think Hamilton's got wing damage. I could just see there a bit of understeer. His front left end plate, I think, is missing. So we know about the straight line speed, so we may have a chance to get Lewis into the chicane here. Although he's probably going to pit. Going to have to take a big old lift. Let's see if Leclerc goes for it. Nope, he doesn't go for it. Hamilton will pit though, so no need to panic. And there we go, that's now releasing us. Battling ahead. Long may it continue. Look at the straight line speed though. We are so OP. As always, that's good to note. Just got to try and do the best we can through the S's to try and keep up. As you'll see, we just get absolutely wrecked through here. I can nail it, but it doesn't matter. The AI is going to be so much better through here.
Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
We'll see how that works out. Ideally, Leclerc here is the one who's going to make things happen when he tries to get past the faster traffic. That's kind of what we're relying upon. We're just starting to drop back from the main DRS train, so we need something to happen here, but neither Ocon or Leclerc can pass Stroll. Not sure if Stroll has DRS on Bottas up the road, but I'm tempted to try my luck here.
And some information on Leclerc. Okay, they're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Okay, Leclerc's in trouble. He's clearly driving the reason why he qualified last, obviously as well. I'm guessing he's got some sort of old engine components. But of course the championship leader here in a bit of trouble. Leclerc's going to try and hold it. I'm going to go the long way round and leave plenty of room as I do not want floor damage. And there we go, we clear Charles Leclerc, so we can now race on to Ocon and Stroll. Okay, Ocon. Looking at Stroll here, we might have a chance to pass them both if they go side by side through the chicane. They might lose enough time that I'll close in here with the straight line speed. Ocon there clears Stroll, who has to fall in behind. Oh, that really let me down. The traction there was horrific. Could have had a chance there to get them both, but I'll have to sit behind. We're just a little bit far back from that train though. They're just up the road. They're not getting away, but we need to try and maybe try and clear these 3 cars. This should be an easy pass on our teammate, as long as we just get a reasonably decent exit here. The question is, do I pass him before 130R or do I pass him after? I think we'll pass him after. Lance's got some pretty decent straight line speed, to be fair. Hence why Ocon struggled to pass him. We'll just pull to the outside. Stroll tries to fight it. Slight bit of contact, and we're not going to get DRS. But that's not our threat, that's not a concern. We have plenty of straight line speed to pull away, even Though Stroll has DRS. Meanwhile, up ahead, Ocon, Bottas scrapping. This is good. Bottas in the medium, so important for us to close in here, and that's exactly what we need. We're not out of this race, actually. I think we've got a chance. I really do. I think the car's actually decent. I'm surprised we're hanging in there. The straight line speed's doing the job, and I've put enough wing on this time that we're kind of competitive enough through sectors 1 and 2 that I can stay in the race. So let's see. I think we're going to get Bottas here. He doesn't have DRS. We know we've got that straight line speed advantage. And look at this. Look how easy. Look how easy. It's like a cheat code. Lovely. Right. We're cooking. Ocon also is a good car to follow here. Obviously, we need to try and beat him if possible. Track limit warning. So I might have got away with that, but just ran a little bit out of bounds. Oh, car's pit. Okay. Lovely stuff. Right, so let's push on. Clean out. That big train of cars, which Lando is in, he's at the back of the queue. That would be nice if we could somehow catch up to that, but I'm not sure we have the pace. We'll give it a shot though. But that would really get us in the race if we could somehow catch up to that lot. Let's see if more cars pit. Looks like Latifi is potentially the last of the soft tyre starters.
We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hard next time.
Let's see what kind of lap times we have versus, you know, the pack of cars ahead. Okay, time to push purple final sector. Managed to gain quite a bit on that last lap. I'm happy to stay out, to be fair. Let's see what the AI do, but I might stay out a little bit longer. Tyre wear is okay, to be fair. I can do a few more laps until I feel like it's the right time to pit. I feel like I'm gaining time right now, so I don't really want to come in and put some cold tyres on. Besides the fact only Sebastian Vettel and Pierre Gasly are pitting, so let's try and go a bit longer here. It feels like the AI have turned the wick up a little bit, and they're probably going to pit this lap. I might just go one more. Just to be safe, I want to see also where they all kind of rejoin. So Lando stays out. Let's stick with it. Stick with Lando here. We get a nice bit of clean track. Right then, we're going to pit. You can tell Lando's really turned the wick up now. Gap over 4 seconds again. Now we'll close in a little bit through here, but we've gone a bit longer. We'll see if that pays dividends. I'm kind of hoping that they just battle on the hard tyre behind in that pack of cars. I don't think we've done enough, but we've done a bloody good job to try and close in. That's not speed. There we go. Excellent pit entry. Right. I think we need a bit of luck to go our way. A safety car or VSC or something. Maybe some heavy AI battling. Good stop there, 2.3. To be fair, we might actually be in the mix here. We're not that far away. We're going to struggle on cold rubber, but we're going to be right in the thick of the train here, actually. Maybe right at the back of it, but we're going to be in the mix. I just got to try and stay in DRS range.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
That was a horrible pit exit, but there's Latifi, and we're going to be just behind. Head of Schumacher. Of course, the soft runners are back into it now. Just got to try and heat these tyres up. Got to be careful in this initial stage, which is looking delicate. But we're not out of this. We've given ourselves a chance here, and we've got fresher tyres than most. I'm not sure if I'll get DRS on Latifi here. It's going to be close. Going to use the battery here for quite a bit. I think we might just nick it, you know. Let's find out if we have got it or not. Yes, we have. And we get a yellow.
Green flag, we're racing again, let's go.
That's behind. Schumacher with an issue. But we're now within range. Ocon pits. That's one less Alpine to worry about. So something happened with Esteban there, I think. Okay, we're going to try and pass Latifi here. We'll get nice and tight into the chicane and then try to nail him into turn 1. Should be fairly straightforward. There we go. Closing in. Get a relatively decent exit, and that will do the job. And we'll let the straight line speed do the rest. Here we go. Got to also try and leapfrog onto Sonoda, which would be ideal. But there we go, that's another easy one. Couple of cars here, Seb and Sonoda, we can get these two, we're in the points. I don't think we'll get DRS here, this is going to be a little bit too far. But we're on for a fastest lap of the Grand Prix at this rate. We're not quite going to get DRS though, which is a shame. But of course, we got DRS for the first part of the lap, which has given us a chance to go for the fastest lap. And we do actually nab some DRS, which is insane. I'm going to try and go for the fastest lap here. And we get it. Could be an extra point if we can finish in the top 10. Second warning, got to be careful now. On the limit. I'm going to try and see if I can get Yuki. I'm going to have to start making some moves now if we want to try and get into the points. Also, I think there's a battle ahead actually. Someone's losing time. Visually, the cars seem a lot closer, which is great. We welcome that. That is excellent. Sonoda's got DRS. Can we get close enough? Then we can. Oh my god, he hit the brakes. That was very, very dangerous. Going to give him the pinch into the apex there, but that could have been a huge high-speed collision. And I'm just having flashbacks. That's not the first time that's happened. That's happened before. So glad we survived that. Right, I can smell it. I see a few points here. And I'd love to get the extra one for the fast lap as well. Should be getting DRS on Seb here. Not sure if I can get close enough to maybe challenge. Into now the chicane. Not bad, but I think I'm a little bit far back. 8/10 is a bit of a big gap. We'll give it a shot. We know that AR like to break into turn 1. Whew, my god, that is ridiculous. That is just a cheat code. Right, in the points. Magnussen signs ahead. Crucial here to get Magnussen in the Haas. And there we go. DRS on Magnussen. And signs. The Ferrari's struggling this weekend. Up the road, by the way. Norris battling with Pierre Gasly, I can see. And I think it's a Williams in front of that. I haven't seen Albon, we've seen Seb. So Williams and AlphaTauri running high in the points. That was a decent chicane. I don't know if I'll have enough to get Magnussen here. We're good, but are we this good? Oh, what about it? Didn't know if that was going to happen or not. If I'd known for certain, I would have probably just gone for it. I don't know if we're close enough. Okay, Mag's going to go full power mode. This might be the last chance we get. Oh my god. Whew. He done it. We got it. Hesitation. Straight through. Verstappen 28.6. We've lost the fastest lap. I'm using all the battery I've got to try and get that back. Although Russell sets a 0.4, which is ridiculous. After now the chicane, everyone any chance of getting that back. But P9 for us today. That will do. And it's not going to be an extra point.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
They've done it then. Here at Suzuka, a brilliant win on the beloved figure of 8 circuit. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So the results are in, and to be fair, we have a bit of a mixed up grid and a few surprises. You know, Albon P5, Gasly P6, which is not ideal for the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships for us, but for the most part, we did the best we could. That was a great recovery drive, and one of my better drives of the season. I'm very happy with that one. We had to really graft, and I'm sweating like crazy, man. That was a tough race. We were so strong at Sector 3, I just had to really be perfect and sweat out Sectors 1 and 2, especially Sector 1. So I had to basically compensate and try to lose the least amount of time possible to then give myself a chance in Sector 3. But yeah, a very fun race, and Verstappen is your winner, Ricciardo second, Russell third. Also getting the fast lap of the race, and then we've got Perez fourth ahead of Albon and Gasly, Norris, Sainz, we finish in ninth ahead of Magnussen, and missing out on the points, Seb, Tsunoda, Latifi, Schumacher, Bottas, Zhou, Stroll, Leclerc with car trouble, Hamilton also struggling, and then Ocon last, which is a big surprise. Standings wise, we are currently 10th. We cut the gap to Ocon a little bit, and we're 12 points behind. Leclerc's gap at the top has been cut massively with that win for Verstappen, and it's now a 22-point gap. Russell closes in, so does Sergio Perez, and Gasly up to 12th with that points finish. In the Constructors, still 6th place and still a long way back from Alpine. We outscored them today, which is great. Red Bull take the lead in the Constructors as McLaren overtake Mercedes, and that's going to be a red-hot fight to the end, I think, in the Constructors. As for us, we have a 12-point gap over Haas, of course, scoring one extra point more than Magnussen. That was really, really key for us to pass him. And yeah, AlphaTauri, not really a threat, and neither are Williams. So yeah, guys, we move on to the next one. Leave a like if you enjoyed that comeback drive. Subscribe for more daily F1 content, more F1 23 content tomorrow. So be tuned in for that. And yeah, as always, a big shout out to the members. Check out the 2 videos on screen, and I'll see all of you in tomorrow's Breaking Point video. Until then, take care, and let's go back from me.